It is my honor to have the opportunity to share with you this day as we celebrate our volunteers in our community. As I look around the room, I'm thrilled to see many of our elected officials and community leaders who have come out to join with us today. Please, County Commissioners, if you would please stand. Thank you. City Councilmen and women. Mayor Phillips. Thank you guys for joining us today. At this time, I would like to introduce Adrienne James. She is our board chair and the vice president of M&S Sanitation to give our invocation.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you today giving you thanks. Thank you for allowing us to be here. For this event that we are gathered, God, those that give the best of who they are to improve not only the community, but the people, investing in the people in this community. We want to thank you for them as we celebrate. We ask, Father, that you would bless the food as well as the United Way as we continue to be strengthened into your service. This is our prayer. We ask it in Jesus' name, and we say amen.
In Onslow County, we appreciate and accept others as we realize that our strengths come from inclusion rather than exclusion. Volunteerism is the cornerstone for a caring community and the energy that brings people together for important causes. The smallest act of kindness is never wasted and is worth more than the grandest intention. We see this in all our nominees today, not because they necessarily have the time, but because they have the heart for service. Enhancing and promoting volunteerism is just one of the many resources United Way utilizes to effect change in our community. From the synergy of working together, it's not just one drop or trickle of movement. It's a wave of action, as a swell that changes lives through volunteerism. At the heart of our caring community commitment is volunteerism, is United Way's Volunteer Onslow. Founded in 1999, the Volunteer Nonprofit Resource Center has grown and evolved to become both the gateway to volunteer service for our community, for new volunteers, and the connector between volunteers and local nonprofits. In 2022, Volunteer Onslow was getting much more traffic since the pandemic, and our numbers well exceeded 2021. Volunteer Onslow logged over 74,000 volunteer hours, equaling over $2 million in sweat equity for our community. And this is just by connecting thousands of local volunteers to more than 179 agencies sourcing volunteers. The website, volunteeronslow.org, has over 12,000 volunteers. This year, we added 1,252 volunteers to our website. With our new partners, brings us to a total of 179 agencies using our platform to source volunteers. Volunteer Onslow is just one of many local programs, partnerships, and initiatives your local United Way supports to impact over 35,000 lives annually. While the impact of volunteerism is most easily measured in hours served and sweat equity dollars saved for the community, many of you in this room know is much more than that. It's the feeling of community experienced during projects, events, and daily activities, as well as the look on the faces of people that we serve that is immeasurable. True impact of service. At this time, I would like to introduce the presenting sponsor for this amazing event. Please welcome the event's original and longtime presenting sponsor, Jones Onslow EMC. Representing Jones Onslow is Steve Goodson, Vice President of Community and Business Strategy.
So when I walked in, I had no notes prepared, and anybody that knows me knows that's how I am. I walked in, and then I saw all these really distinguished folks sitting here, and I said I probably should write some stuff down. And when I mean distinguished folks, I don't mean the councilmen and the commissioners, and of course, definitely not Sammy Phillips. I'm talking about the nominees who are here today and potentially can go home with some hardware. But you guys are true heroes in our community, and we thank you. So coming over, Crystal told me, Crystal Phillips, who is here representing the co-op as well, told me, you know the 3 B's of speaking, right? I'm like, no clue. She said, be passionate, be brief, and then be seated. So that's what I'm going to do. I do want to recap really quickly, though. 20 years ago, we weren't the original sponsors. We had a large corporate entity that is located still in the mall, one of the businesses that are still in the mall, located in the mall, was the original sponsor of this for 2 or 3 years. My very, 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 very good friend, Glenn Hargett, came to me after that business withdrew their sponsorship and said, hey, we've got something that we think fits right up your alley. It's volunteerism. It's recognizing the folks in the community that are doing great things for the community. I didn't have to think twice. I said, we're in. And that's how we've been doing it since 23, 24 years now, I guess, or however long. So the reason I didn't have to really think about it is because it's a natural fit for us. We're a locally owned business. We serve folks in the community. You guys, a lot of you folks in businesses call them customers. We call them members, a lot like Marine Federal Credit Union. We're owned and operated. Your board of directors for Jones Onslow live in the communities. They may be some of your neighbors. And so we're all about community. So much so that we operate, all cooperative forms of businesses operate under 7 cooperative principles. They're all pretty neat, and I'm not going to bore you with 1 through 6, but number 7 is concern for community. And that's the natural tie-in. The natural tie-in for Jones Onslow for this event is that we believe in giving back, and we believe that this is the best place in the world to live. And again, we're honored to sponsor this event. I wish you guys could all win, because just looking at the list and just doing a little research, you got some real outstanding folks here. But again, we're just happy to sponsor this event, and thanks for letting us be a part of it.
Thank you, Steve. Jones Onslow EMC has really set the standard in Onslow County for community support and good stewardship. So thank you, Steve. Before I start the awards presentation, I would like to say a special thank you to our judges. If our judges could please stand as I call your name. Brent Anderson with Onslow County Schools. Gina Quinn of Miller Mont College. Tracy Jackson with the City of Jacksonville. Wendell Boykin with North Carolina Public Safety. Terry Bach of the Bach Group. I know it was a tough decision reading through those awards, so thank you guys for your time and commitment. At this time, I'm going to ask Adrian James to come up and assist with the awards. Okay, it definitely makes my heart happy to see our youth involved in volunteerism at such an early age, because we know our future is in good hands. So this next category is our youth individual category. So as I call your name, please come up to the podium. We got Devontae Carswell from Possumwood Acres Wildlife Sanctuary. We got Ashton Jarman from Cape Fear Red Cross and Onslow Memorial Volunteers. Emily Rice of Onslow County Senior Services. Ansley Thrash from Onslow County, Queens. Congratulations to all of our youth nominees. Our future is definitely better served because of your commitment to volunteerism and others. Our third place winner started at Possumwood Acres as a quiet and shy volunteer. Since then, he has evolved into an outgoing, energetic, and irreplaceable part of their team. Every task at Possumwood, no matter how big or small, is crucial to the proper care of their animals. He has proven to be compassionate in every aspect regarding the animals. He makes such an impact at their sanctuary every day, and they know that this same energy is brought to the community every opportunity he gets. Every school day, they are confident that he will make every effort to show up to his volunteer shift. There are many times when he is the only student who shows up. He completes his task without complaint and completes the task of his classmates who are unable to be there. He consistently displays dedication and initiative. He shows up motivated, ready to learn, and always excited to help. He shows a willingness to learn more, and when given a new task, he follows instructions and completes each task in a timely manner, all of which attributes to an amazing volunteer. Actually, you could probably be a good Marine, too. So your third place winner is Devontae Carswell. Our next youth nominee is a natural-born leader with confidence and a kind heart. She is eloquent and hardworking, and she seeks to build meaningful connections with those in her community. She took on the role of packing weekend meals for senior citizens by herself during the pandemic, when many of our seniors struggled to find consistent access to food. She stepped up to this task without being asked and did so for several months. She always takes time to help disabled seniors in any way she can, going above and beyond to improve the quality and happiness of their lives. She's helping to provide a reliable source of food to senior citizens with disabilities that prevent them from regular shopping for the things they need. She helps boost their physical and emotional quality of life, providing them companionship and emotional support, and seeking to help in every way she can. She is a true blessing to all senior citizens at the Onslow County Senior Services. Congratulations to our 2023 Golden Rule Lightkeeper second place winner, Emily Rice. Okay, so we did have a tie for second place. This next young lady started volunteering at an early age by donating her time and supplies to various organizations within Onslow County. From the age of 4, she gathered food donations to the Jacksonville USO and raised $1,400 for Onslow Relay for Life. In addition, she and 5 other sister queens donated over $3,000 to the Down Syndrome Network of Onslow County. This was the first time the group have received a contribution of this kind. Her start to volunteering may have started with pageants, but she has worn her crown to serve others. In addition, she has supported the Down Syndrome Network by helping with crafts and volunteering at special functions. In elementary school, she helped bag rice, participated in Read Across America, and donated food items for the CHEW program. The best way to describe her volunteer style is by showing support to any organization. Whenever asked to help, she never hesitates. We need more youth to do the same. Congratulations to your other 2023 Golden Rule Lightkeeper second place winner, Ansley Thrash. Your 2023 Golden Rule Lightkeeper Youth Award winner started volunteering with the Red Cross Blood Drive after learning there was a critical shortage. She is a leader and recruiter for the Red Cross, knowing how important it is to be prepared before disaster strikes. Educating the public on emergency preparedness is an important mission of the American Red Cross. On her own, she prepared gift bags for hospital patients to make their day a little happier. In addition, she has volunteered for 2 years at Onslow Memorial Hospital as a volunteer, completing non-technical tasks and making the hospital a little more cheerful with her beautiful smile and willingness to help patients, visitors, and staff. She learned to crochet baby hats for our hospital nursery. There are so many examples of this young woman's commitment to giving back to the community. At her school, she organized a zombie apocalypse party. That sounds fun. Utilizing an impending zombie apocalypse to help educate her school about how to prepare for disasters. Natural disasters kill an average of 60,000 people per year globally, and having an emergency plan can make a difference, which was part of her event. As a result of her successful event, students at Jacksonville High are now better prepared and know ways to be safer during a disaster. Due to her success and encouragement, 12 students became Red Cross volunteers. She has also worked numerous blood drives to help with the critical shortage. She led a group to collect socks for veteran groups and was instrumental in the Trunk or Treat event for the United Way. She tackled a fundraiser to help ensure children around the world would have access to vaccinations to prevent measles, which is on the rise in many countries. She serves as the Youth Red Cross Leadership Team planning meetings and events and activities for other students to learn volunteer service hours. Her volunteer efforts are endless, and it is volunteers like her that make others want to do the same. We applaud her willingness to give back. It is my great honor to welcome your 2023 Golden Reel Lightkeeper Youth Award winner, Ashton Jarman. Thank you. Okay, we would like to take this time to recognize our youth group nominees. Please come to the podium, Cape Fear Red Cross Youth Group and Onslow Memorial Hospital volunteers. I was going to say, I think it depends on who's going to get first on which one they're going to put on. Okay, your 2023 Golden Reel Lightkeeper Youth second place winner are a group of high school students who are aware of the humanitarian mission of the Red Cross. As a small group, they created a couple fundraisers to help those impacted by the hurricane. They collected socks to donate to local veteran groups and worked blood drives, registering and greeting donors. They have taken numerous courses to learn to be better prepared when disaster strikes, including courses to teach young children what to do in an emergency. They raised more than $4,000 for Hurricane Ian victims, collected over 200 pairs of new socks for veteran groups, and raised $1,000 for Red Cross in Onslow County to assist families impacted by local disasters by gift wrapping at the mall. Served as blood donor ambassadors and represented the Red Cross at Trunk or Treat. This group of individuals have no limits and will do whatever it takes to help those in need. Congratulations to our second place winners, the Cape Fear Red Cross Youth Club. Our 2023 Golden Reel Lightkeeper Youth Group winners. Told you they're waiting to see who got first. Okay, looks like they're ready. Our 2023 Golden Rule Lightkeeper Youth Group winners complete the non-technical task in a community hospital that makes it more pleasant place to visit. The students serve as ambassadors of goodwill, with each student required to work a minimum of 8 hours per week and at least 75 during the summer months. Most work 100 hours, either helping to deliver food to patients, picking up food trays, giving out information at the front desk, escorting visitors and patients throughout the hospital, assisting medical personnel in caring at their mission to take care of people in distress. With COVID, the number of students in the program had to be reduced, but these 25 students worked about 3,000 hours this summer at our hospital. They also learned to crochet and made about 50 hats for our hospital nursery. They worked multiple hours over the summer helping patients, staff, and visitors in our hospital. A hospital never has too much help, and these young volunteers are a welcome sight each year. Please help me in congratulating the 2023 Golden Rule Lightkeeper Youth Group Award winners, Onslow Memorial Hospital Volunteers. Thank you. Groups of individuals or family volunteers can make a big impact in our community. By working together, groups can make the impossible possible. This year, in the adult group category, we recognize a group of individuals who had made a lasting impact on many residents here in Onslow County. Our 2023 Golden Rule Lightkeeper Adult Group winners is Onslow Community Outreach. Please come up. Hey there. Hi. So these volunteers consistently dedicated their time to volunteering with Onslow Community Outreach and have been faithfully serving the soup kitchen for close to 25 years. They are a rotational volunteer staff that works Monday through Friday. They cook amazing food for the people that need it most. They have excellent people skills as well as kitchen skills. They ensure impeccable commercial kitchen cleanliness and hygiene practices. They adapt and overcome a variety of different issues, including creative cooking hurdles. They have a huge impact in food insecurity in Onslow County and feed over 100 people a day, Monday through Friday. They remain steadfast in their commitment to Onslow Community Outreach and for the betterment of Onslow County. Their contributions have significantly impacted the most vulnerable people in Onslow County. They are champions of the people and a wonderful example of uplifting your own community. Congratulations to the Onslow County Soup Kitchen volunteers. Our 2023 Golden Rule Lightkeeper education nominees are like no other. Volunteer educators open a world of opportunity for their students. They provide knowledge, share experiences, and teach skills that enable their students to have a deeper understanding of the world and the world around them. Kathy Clark Grande and Susan Thomas are education nominees. If you guys would please come forward. Our 2023 Golden Rule Lightkeeper second place winner officially joined Onslow Literacy Council on January 12, 2021, but she served Onslow Literacy Council for several years prior to that date, being a news reporter and radio station owner. She brought a wealth of experiences. She initially provided support for Onslow literacy through her personal financial contributions and provided free airtime on her local radio station. Since joining OLC, she has served on the fundraising committee as co-chair, provided endless support, and providing a wealth of experience in the business community. Because of her in-depth knowledge and dedication, she and the fundraising committee have ensured several successful fundraising events to include establishing an initial and now annual golf tournament, a sponsorship recognition dinner, and an amazing gala. She has specially enhanced a more concise and organized fundraising process. Her knowledge of technical and allowed her to vitalize OLC's technical processes and removed wasted time and antiquated processes. As a result of her expertise, the technology was spread to all OLC processes and procedure. Congratulations to our 2023 Golden Reel Lightkeeper second place winner, Kathy Clark Grande. Our 2023 Golden Reel Lightkeeper Education Award winner is known for her motivation, educational expertise, enthusiasm for service, and a caring heart. As a lifelong citizen of Richlands, whose volunteer service exceeds most, she is well known and respected throughout the Richlands community. Upon meeting her, she is immediately encouraged, and excited. She volunteers within her church and serves in many events as well as teaching Bible classes. She currently volunteers at the Richlands thrift store that resells otherwise unwanted items to raise money to serve the community. However, this recognition is mainly for service to the Onslow Literacy Center. She serves at the fundraising committee and supports OLC both by attending almost all events with her presence and funds. She served on the board of directors until her schedule precluded her full participation. After stepping down, she continues to serve as an advisory committee member, providing her educational and community expertise. Besides educational experience, she provides both adult and children books that OLC can then donate to the community to put books in the hands of our adults and children who love to read. When Jesus said, "What you do to the least of these, you do unto me," Susan took him seriously. Her service is unmeasurable in the fight for literacy and the general community benefit. The Onslow Literary Center is better off because she is there to serve them. Congratulations, Miss Susan Thomas. Thank you, ladies. Our 2023 Golden Reel Lightkeeper Adult Individual nominees have given so much of themselves to our community, as we are truly blessed to have them here in Onslow County. Our volunteers are advocates, mentors, coaches, educators, rescuers, friends, and professionals. They have a love for the community and want to continue to see it grow and flourish. If the following individuals please come forward: Brittany Boudreau, Onslow County Pierce Program; Joe Burkhead, United Way of Onslow County's CHEW Program; Betty LaPuente, United Way of Onslow County; Sandy Middlebrooks, the Salvation Army; Molly Middleton, Onslow Community Outreach; Mike O'Neill, Wilmington Area Rebuilding Ministry; Desiree Salen, Wilmington Area Rebuilding Ministry; Marge Treadwell, Onslow Community Outreach; Ladies and gentlemen, these are your adult individual nominees. Our third place Golden Reel Lightkeeper winner has been volunteering with the United Way of Onslow County's CHEW program for over 5 years and is one of the most dedicated volunteers they have. He is there every Tuesday to assist with delivery day, and there are over 20 schools that the delivery drivers deliver to, and he's loading up the wagons and bins to wheel outside awaiting their arrival. Once they arrive, he must assure each driver is given the right amount of CHEW bags and load them up into their cars. The drivers never arrive without seeing a smile on his face and the warmest of receptions from him. He is so eager to help, and you can tell that he obviously loves what he does. Once the deliveries have been all picked up, he gets busy bringing up all of the items to set out on the tables for the upcoming pack out. He makes sure to help with the heavy stuff first so the other volunteers that there don't need to worry about lifting the heavy boxes. He has graciously taken on the Wednesday shift from 1 to 5, where he supervises and assists any other volunteers that come to help. Once a week, the CHEW program has a pack out where the bags for the children are assembled. Without fail, Joe is at almost every single one of them. He is a blessing to the CHEW program. He always has a smile on his face, and his positive attitude is the highlight of their day when they see him. Without fail, if a need comes up, he is always there to lend a hand. His commitment and dedication to the program is seen and felt by all. He is amazing and keeps the packouts running smoothly and is done in a timely manner. He never complains when something goes wrong, because we know it happens. He just puts a smile on his face and keeps on pushing. The CHEW House Jacksonville Hub feeds over 700 children from that location every week. Without his dedication and commitment, this would not be possible. He has a heart for service and makes sure the children in Onslow County are fed. Congratulations, Joe Burkhead. Our next winner is at the office from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Attends and assists at all United Way of Onslow County events. She is the resource hotline for the community. She receives calls throughout the day and assists callers by providing resources to help them. Betty promotes the 211 resource hotline and informs callers that help is just 3 numbers away. If at any time they need additional assistance, they can call 211 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. She also works closely with the Community Impact Director in supporting the Children Healthy Eating on Weekends program and Volunteer Onslow. She collects donated items throughout the day and provides all donations with a thank you card. She not only collects the CHEW items, but also assists with counting and providing a monetary value on the items. This helps the finance department to accurately account for the in-kind donations. She has taken a leadership role at the CHEW House and volunteers every Monday so that our Community Impact Director is able to do other work that is needed at the office. She is a selfless volunteer that focuses on how she can create a meaningful impact. She is eager to do everything possible to bring about a positive change. She is making a huge difference in the lives of our children. She is passionate about the work United Way does and genuinely cares about the community. She has gone above and beyond to learn how to run the front office for United Way. She helps organize the charity events and does any administration work needed within the organization. She is a welcoming smile to all that enter the building, and all that meet her talk about what an amazing person she is. They love to see her smiling face when they walk into the office. She is so loved at United Way, and we are thankful to have her devote her time to our mission. Please join me in presenting Betty La Puenta, second place winner. Your 2023 Golden Reel Lightkeeper Adult individual winner is a special kind of person. She's someone you meet only once in your lifetime, if you are lucky. She is kind, compassionate, caring, motherly to everyone, a true friend, loyal, impactful, intelligent, respectful, funny, interesting, joyful. Her integrity is par none. She has a moral compass like no one you've ever met, and she sticks to always doing what is right. Not only did she graduate with her Master's of Social Work degree from LSU with a 4.26 GPA, she did so while also being a full-time mom to 2 children under the age of 6. Her husband deployed and away at training for 9 to 10 months, running her company, Baking with Britt. She was also volunteering at Piers 40-plus hours a week. Brittany does all this just to be helpful. She is constantly taking things off of other people's plates. She never looks for a shout-out or a pat on the back. She isn't holding favors owed in her back pocket or doing things for recognition. She does what she does because she is a light in this world that can only hope never goes out. They truly believe that if she were not in their lives, they would not be as bright and as vibrant as they are. Her heart is pure, and she simply helps because she cares about everyone. She volunteers with her parent education classes, where she teaches classes on her own, as well as co-facilitates classes when needed. She also helps during fundraisers in all aspects. She volunteers in their child care rooms and is never afraid to jump in when needed. She does outreach events and goes to different agencies to spread the word of Piers and their programs. She alone secured $10,000 in sponsorships from local and out-of-state businesses. Most of those businesses had never heard of Piers until she walked in their door. She is always ready and available to help aid Piers in any aspect. Her willingness, passion, and drive to help all children and their families within our community is amazing. Brittany constantly goes above and beyond for each person she meets. Not only does she give her time for free to Piers and their clients, but she lives an hour away and pays a babysitter for her 2 young kids to do so. She truly is an amazing volunteer, and they are lucky to have her in their lives. This is volunteering at its finest. Ladies and gentlemen, Brittany Boudreau. Congratulations to the 2023 Golden Rule Lightkeeper winners. You all have inspired us, and we are truly grateful for your dedication to and support of our community. Stories like these are a true testament to what volunteerism is all about. As we continue to honor volunteerism, please join me in welcoming Lorette Legan, Chamber for the Onslow Civic Affairs Committee, who will be assisted by members of the committee for their presentation of the Fabric of Our Community Awards.
Good afternoon. Many cultures celebrate those who have led them, who inspired them, who guided them, and who helped to give their people inspiration, hope, and action. Today, the Onslow Civic Affairs Committee seeks to embody those who, within our lifetime, have done that for Onslow County. During the recognition of the far-reaching effects of the Beirut bomb blast of 1983, our community recognized that the fabric of our community had been torn by the loss of so many in that single day. Our community's potential of what could have been was forever changed due to that loss of so many lives. The lives lost that day were also so interwoven that we also lost their valued and varied contributions to our civic infrastructure. Our awards today are the result of a shared concern that we acknowledge the composition of our community's fabric and that we celebrate their contributions. The Onslow Civic Affairs Committee was born of an effort to assemble people who were an integral part of our community to recognize how we can improve our community through civic education. Ours is a diverse committee of elected officials, community leaders, educators, nonprofit leaders and workers, people with military and civilian backgrounds, and just regular citizens who want to improve and embetter this community. The community was unanimous in adopting an effort to preserve and recognize those whose actions had spoken loudly, and whose contributions to the fabric of our community made it stronger and our future brighter. Since we have begun this award, we have recognized 33 individuals with 28 panels in our quilt of honor. Since their induction, we do unfortunately mourn the loss of Franny Mae Coleman, Itchy Popkin, Otto Taylor, Pam Walker, and Ernie Wright. Today, we recognize the 7th group of persons inducted into the fabric of our community status. The criteria for selection is for there to be an unquestioned contribution to bettering our community through a single action which has an enduring benefit, or a lifetime of work that has demonstrated a pattern of actions which together have contributed to the strengthening of our community. These members of the recognition group today unquestionably demonstrate this. Members of the Onslow Civic Affairs Committee will give recognition to these persons by a modest stretch piece of fabric that will represent a quilt of many persons whose collective work will inspire other generations into the future. So it is appropriate at this time that we invite Sandra Wyrick Crane and her family, as well as my other fellow members of the Civic Affairs Committee, to come forward to help induct these persons into our quilt of persons who truly reflect the fabric of our community. Here you are, ma'am.
Sandy has held many titles and served in many roles. Importantly, she's a dedicated mother, grandmother, and family matron. She's also been a successful business operator, marketing director, and community organizer. She has led business associations, organized events, planned observances, and created enduring bonds across all sectors of our community. She served as the first full-time volunteer center director and executive director for what is now Onslow Community Outreach. And these are just a few of the highlights from her reel of service. Sandra Wyrick Crane also served as executive director for bettering our local downtown, served for years on the Jacksonville Planning Board, several of which she was vice chairman, and she was named to state commissions advocating for volunteerism. Her service on the Jacksonville Planning Board was during a time of rapid growth, and she was part of a group effort to help navigate development pressures with available resources. She spoke about the impact on neighbors and other businesses when decisions came before the volunteer board, and she advocated for doing what was best for all parties. She operated the Peanut Shack in the Jacksonville Mall during its most popular years. She and previous honoree Pete Burgess were the royalty of Jacksonville Mall. As the face of business leaders who wanted to improve their community. Following her years in business with the Peanut Shack, Sandy served as the marketing director for the mall itself. During her work with the Jacksonville Onslow Volunteer Center, she worked to match willing volunteers with trusted organizations. She also led many community and nonprofit efforts which needed volunteers in order to function successfully. She welcomed volunteers, helped assign tasks at functions, and ensured the appreciation of our community was felt by those who worked. Inspiring young people to volunteer and to see the value of volunteering to improve our community inspired her. As the first full-time volunteer center director, she set a high bar. She ensured all in our community were welcomed as volunteers and that community organizations who needed help got it. Nights, weekends, and holidays were her work days, as she shepherded volunteers and ensured the organizations they served treated them well. Many a time, she used her own funds to ensure volunteers were fed and had refreshments. She was the picture of hospitality and appreciation for our community. Her sense of humor and marketing mindset have been noted and appreciated. For the Sturgeon City Institutes, typically held on the hottest days of the year, she ensured that water and sturgeon juice were always on hand as refreshments. Sturgeon juice was a novel way of marketing pink lemonade to high schoolers, who then sported wristbands saying, "Sturgeon Juice Survivor." She also had a novel way of mixing the juice, but I'm not allowed to share it with you here today. As the executive director for what is now Onslow Community Outreach, she provided leadership and stability when that organization was growing and needed strong leadership. She remains active now, serving on the Regional Aging Advisory Committee. She was a member of Jacksonville Rotary South, and she is one of us, an early member of the Onslow Civic Affairs Committee. And this program has been one she has helped to lead. How early? But not this year. As part of the Observances Subcommittee, she has helped to produce the annual 9/11 Patriot Day observance since the Onslow County Board of Commissioners asked that the Civic Affairs Committee conduct such an observance. Since that time, Sandy has been an integral part of making that observance to memorialize those who died on 9/11, those who have died in the War on Terror, and to honor first responders each year in honor of those whose lives were lost as first responders because of 9/11. She has also led the Freedom Fountain Observance, telling the story that the fountain is dedicated to everyone who has passed through our community in service to our nation. One of those people is her husband, Lawrence Crane, who has been drafted into service as the bell ringer and good humor man as part of these observances. During the pandemic, the couple continued their unified concern for others by donating 800 pounds of chicken to the soup kitchen when resources were scarce. Her greatest gift to this and many other organizations was her ability to tell the story of those groups. Her passion for the work of Onslow Community Outreach, its many volunteers and leaders, rolled off of her tongue easily because she lived it. She's passionate about helping others in our community. Her work to tell the story of this community continues with her service on the Civic Affairs Committee and the traditions that are to be passed on to new and future generations who have not yet heard the incredible stories of our community. So it is. For her steady and strong voice and actions for this community, for her service improving our community, for telling our stories, Sandra Wyrick Crane will forever be remembered as an integral part of the fabric of our community. Thank you. The fabric square she's being presented today reads, "From this day forth, the Onslow Civic Affairs Committee has designated that Sandra Wyrick Crane is forever to be known for her significant contributions to improving, strengthening, and benefiting the fabric of our community, inducted Tuesday, April 18th, 2003. Miss Sandy.
Wow, I think I'm tired after hearing all that. I started when I was a baby. I would like to thank my family. I want to thank my daughter who flew down here last night and has to go back tonight from Pennsylvania just to be here for me. It means an awful lot. Thank you, Amy. And I'd like to thank my husband, the bell ringer. He does it so well. And I'm real proud of him standing beside me and volunteering, even though I think he was voluntold. Is that what they say? But I appreciate it. I appreciate, my friends, and it has been an amazing journey. Just volunteering and meeting new people from all walks of life, and some of those people that, I've been friends with forever. And it just means an awful lot. This is such a great community. I mean, wow, I've been here 51 years, and there's no place else I'd rather live than Onslow County. People help each other. Maybe it's because we're all from different places, but somehow we all gel together. And just, I don't want another hurricane, but the last big one, oh my gosh, people came out and helped, and it was just amazing, and nobody ever said no. So that's what's so important about this community, about volunteering, and, we really need to step up to the plate again. We need to all volunteer a little bit more because there's such a need out there, and we want to help our people right here in our community. I want to thank everybody. Don Herring, thank you so much for being my mentor, and we've done some strange things together. In the water, he lost his shoes. I mean, we've at Sturgeon City, but we've had some good times. So I want to, strange, but I want to thank you all so much. Thank you. It's quite an honor. Thank you so much.
Louise, you want to come on up? Not yet. Born in Texas, Finney Greggs' heart was as big as his home state. His legacy of service began when he joined the United States Marine Corps. Louise Greggs is a native of Shreveport, Louisiana, and during their travels around the world, she continued her education and volunteered her services wherever they were stationed. Marrying his wife Louise in 1971, the Greggs family would eventually make Onslow County their forever home when Finney completed his military career. But his service certainly did not end. Finney would become director of the Onslow County chapter of the American Red Cross, fulfilling the mission of that organization each day. In that role, he met nonprofit leaders who were impressed with how he operated the Red Cross and the honor that he brought to the organization within the community. He also impressed elected and community leaders who then called upon himself and Louise to be part of other groups and organizations seeking to help improve and advance our community. While Finney was Red Cross director, Louise served for 6 years as shelter manager during Hurricanes Bertha, Floyd, and Fran, and she also drove emergency rescue vehicles. Finney's love of the United States Marine Corps and the story of the Montford Point Marines would place him and Louise in the roles of caretaker and curator of the Montford Point Marine Museum. As director and assistant director, respectively, Finney and Louise helped to honor and share the history and tradition of the Montford Point Marines. Their efforts to build support for the museum included not only the museum building itself, but books and documentaries gaining national and international attention and recognition of the story of the Montford Point Marines. Finney passed away in November of 2019. His life story and his dedication to the story of the Montford Point Marines led him to being honored as a member of the Montford Point Marine Association Hall of Fame. Louise continues to volunteer for the Montford Point Museum as design and display director, collection manager, tour guide, and custodian. She was instrumental in featuring the first documentary of the first African-American Marines in the United States Marine Corps, collaborating with Dr. Milton McLaurin of UNC Wilmington and the actor Louis Gossett Jr. Louise is a volunteer life member of Montford Point Marine Association, having served as auxiliary president, public relations officer, secretary, chaplain, and Southern Region vice president. She was a charter member of the Northeast Community Development Corporation, working alongside the late Oliver Hill. And in 2009, she was recognized as an intriguing African-American woman of Onslow County. Presently, Mrs. Greggs is the organizer and coordinator of the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Humanitarian Awards Ceremony, celebrating first responders and community service volunteers in Onslow County. Active in her church and memorable for her support of her husband, Finney, she has continued to be a servant to the community and to her church. Therefore, for their dedication to the story of the Montford Point Marines and their passion that significantly contributed to the creation of the Montford Point Marines Museum and Memorial, and the continued work she does to cause others to never forget their sacrifice, the Onslow Civic Affairs Committee declares Finney and Louise Greggs to be a valuable part of the fabric of our community. The fabric square reads, "From this day forth, the Onslow Civic Affairs Committee has designated that Finney and Louise Greggs are forever to be known for their significant contributions to improving, strengthening, and benefiting the fabric of our community." Inducted this Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. Louise Greggs has asked her pastor, Dr. Michael Schwalm of Centerview Baptist Church, to make some remarks with her. And we also want to acknowledge that her daughter is here, Taniel Batts.
Thank you so much to the members of the Golden Rule and the fabric of our community. My wife's a quilter, and I can't think of a better way than to have a Finney and Louise patch on the fabric of our quilt here in Jacksonville. You've already heard that Finney was a storied Marine. He had a commanding presence, not just because he was 6'6.5" tall, but because he had a heart as big as Texas, and he just commanded the room when he entered it. Not again, because of his intimidating size, sometimes you might say, but because of his gentleness. Will Rogers said, I never met a man I didn't like. Finney Greggs, one of his life sayings was, I never met a man I didn't want to help. Toward the end of his life, when the horrid disease that got my own father-in-law, some form of Alzheimer's or dementia where your memory is stolen away, the wonderful thing is Finney never forgot his family, never forgot his Lord, and never forgot who he was, and raised largely by a Christian grandmother who influenced him. And so Finney would often say toward the end, when he didn't recognize me any longer, well, my name is Finney Greggs. I'm a pastor at Centerview, and if I can't help you, I certainly don't want to hurt you. That was I heard him say that so many times I could not count. And as far as he and Miss Louise, there's something called peanut butter and jelly that just go together. Miss Louise also has a commanding presence, though not the physical stature. And I will just tell you an example of this in our family of faith. And I had the privilege to officiate at Taniel and James' wedding 18 years ago, and Finney's ordination to the gospel ministry, and sadly, at his life celebration service. But Miss Louise has that presence as well. So several times since Finney has passed, we've had a prayer meeting or an event that has shaken our city or our world, and people are pouring their hearts out in prayer to the Lord. And when there's a moment of silence, spontaneously, Miss Louise would just stand and sing a solo. And you could hear a pin drop, and we were all just moved every time that happens. It's just like a little God moment in our lives. So we love them so much. We know that they've done so much for this town, but they've also done so much for their fellow man, and especially for the saints at Centerview Baptist Church, as well as the extended community. We love you, we appreciate you, and we thank God for Finney. We still talk to him sometimes as he's live, because guess what? He's more alive than he's ever been. He just can't talk with us. He's in heaven. God bless.
Adequate words. When I was just a little girl, my mother would sing a song, "If I can help somebody as I pass this way, then my living would not have been in vain." She would say to me, "If they need your help, then give it to them. Don't sit around and wait for someone else to do it." As was mentioned earlier, Finney was raised by his grandparents, Reverend Finney Greggs, and a missionary grandmother. He said he and his brother worked for everyone in their community, and they were told not to ask to be paid. As kids, they often do. He said his grandmother told him that if they gave him a cookie or 2 pennies, accept it, but never ask for it. He and his grandmother traveled to neighboring communities, teaching others Bible reading and often giving food. Helping others was all Finney knew. I would like to, on behalf of my late husband, Finney, take this opportunity just to let you know how proud we are to be recognized by the Onslow County Civic Affairs Committee. Jacksonville's past mayor, George Jones, co-urged Finney to retire here in Jacksonville. He did. That was his decision. He decided to stay here. Between he and George Jones, and I decided to stay with him. I was not happy. However, I am glad we did. Being a community volunteer here in Onslow County has afforded us many opportunities of a lifetime. Our lives have been enriched with many, many wonderful and fantastic people. Thank you, Onslow County, for extending a helping hand to Finney and I as we try to help others. Again, thank you so very much.
If Tracy Brown and your family would come forward. If you'd stand up here. Y'all want to stand behind her? Ron Brown typifies a ready hand, a community volunteer, a business leader, and a humble servant that was ready to lead or work for his family and his beloved Onslow County. Ron Brown led an unfinished life. It was one of changes, of adventures, of successes, and a life which produced an incredible body of work. Ron passed in 2016, leaving behind a legacy of volunteer work, business development, family ties, and institutions he started, rescued, or furthered. He was a star in South Pacific, which was his Jacksonville High School musical, but he was humble in projects, programs, and organizations that helped to make our community better. He did this on the Jacksonville Planning Board, where he had a significant role in supporting efforts that beautified and improved our community. And he spoke for small builders and small business people. He saw a need to help the Jacksonville-Onslow Arts Council, and when others failed, he stepped in and helped them find and get a building that they continue to occupy today across from the Jacksonville City Hall. He valued the power of arts in a community like ours. It was his love of community that shined bright with his leadership in WJNC and WRCM radio that he managed. These two stations were once a preeminent voice of the community. He helped to restore and make WJNC into an institution that served Jacksonville and Onslow County until the end of the last century. He ran the business with that sense of community-mindedness and encouraged the voice to be used to advance good things for Jacksonville and Onslow County. I owe it to him for bringing me back to Jacksonville. His recruitment of me fulfilled my dream of being a community broadcaster. I served as news director for several years, and it was Ron who insisted that independence be made from the sale of news to the sales department. He was not fearful of stories that told the truth, but were unpopular with some leaders. He wanted news of the community, our government, and our people who made this a community. It was Ron who started the deal that allowed us to purchase the station in 1986. We continued providing 24-hour hurricane coverage, election polling, and things that were hyper-local. We also told stories about things in our community that mattered, mostly influenced by Ron Brown. When he made his career change from broadcasting to following his father into woodworking and construction, he continued his love of the city and built several homes downtown. And it was where he and Tracy lived. He spoke out at hearings and in conversations with our leaders about downtown and the potential that it held. He lobbied for public boat docks in downtown Jacksonville, and he built several homes in the downtown area. It was so fitting that his family selected a picture of him along the water's edge as part of their remembrance at his passing. He was a man of the water. He met all the scientists who were helping the city clean up the New River, and he loved the idea and power of Sturgeon City to tell the story of that cleanup and to influence future generations to not let the degradation of the New River occur again. He loved being on the water, and Tracy would join him on their boat touring the inland waterway all the way to New England and then south to Florida. Tracy also accompanied him on many of his volunteer jobs to help people in this community after a hurricane or disaster of any proportion. Known for his extraordinary personality, Ron used it to enhance the business he operated and the community. He loved the power of story. He would recount a historical fact that this community was working into many conversations to help tell that story. He would also use the power of story to remember local political issues and to engage others humbly. But the most powerful use of story was to motivate and inspire others into action. He has left two fine sons, as well as Tracy, who continues his special sense of humor and the ability to talk with just about anyone. His wise counsel to his sons, Jeb and Seth, was to be willing to be listened to others and willing to change your mind about what you heard. He was a great businessman, father, community leader, and volunteer. His absence has left a tear in the fabric of our community. We are all left to finish his legacy with our lives. What influences might you make from the Ron's life of model of bravery, perseverance, friendship, management, community spirit, and just being a good guy? It is therefore for the love of community, bravery to speak, perseverance that this can be a better place, his friendship, management, and his desire to improve an entire community that we recognize Ron Brown as part of the fabric of our community. The Fabric Square reads, "From this day forth, the Onslow Civic Affairs Committee has designated that Ron Brown is forever to be known for his significant contributions to improving, strengthening, and benefiting the fabric of our community." Inducted Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. Would you like to say something?
When Ron got sick and we were in Chapel Hill, he told the doctors there, he said, "You know, I have been blessed all my life, and if it ends tomorrow, I'm good." and he really felt that he was so blessed to be from Jacksonville in Onslow County, and he was more blessed that he had a boat that goes on the water. He loved every minute of it, and we loved him. Thank you.
My dad loved Onslow County and Jacksonville. He loved downtown and he loved the river. And, he taught me and my brother and my children that, giving starts with love. His love for our community was never more apparent. In 2008, when the market tanked, my wife and I were in real estate in the western side of the state. And I was on the phone with him. I had a wife and a 3-year-old daughter who has green hair now. And to be quite frank, I was scared to death. And he talked us into coming for a visit. And he got us out on the river. He had a 32 Endeavor sailboat. And if you guys have ever sailed on our river, it doesn't take 10 minutes. It takes 4 to 5 hours. And we're out there on the boat, and he is laying out all the options for things that we can do to move forward in our life. And by the time we got off that boat, Sean and I already knew that we were coming back to Jacksonville, and he made it feel like it was our idea. My father wove me and my family back into this community, and we are honored to receive this, and we are proud, and we think he would be proud of us today. Thank you very much.
Chuck, Stephanie. Place of honor right there. Okay. Praised for his wisdom and consistency as a judge, and honored for civic involvement that has left a legacy for youth in Onslow County, retired Chief Resident Superior Court Judge Charles H. Henry has been part of novel projects in Onslow County for some time. A native of New Jersey, Chuck Henry arrived in Jacksonville in 1975 to be the police legal advisor, a position that would expose him to some of the underside of our community. Court Street was still rocking, and the drinking age was 18, and he would move to serve with District Attorney Bill Andrews and some historic cases. For 18 years, he was with Ellis Hooper, Warlick Morgan, and Waters. Governor Jim Hunt appointed him to be a Superior Court judge in 1998, and he retired when he reached the mandatory age of 72, but still serves now as a retired recalled judge. With Carl Ragsdale, Judge Henry was a major supporter of a baseball stadium for Jacksonville. Noting the number of military and community members who had gone to Kinston to watch a minor league game, he wanted the same for Jacksonville. There was a major problem in that the leagues would not allow another team within a certain distance from the home plate of the Kinston team. A location was found that could meet that exclusion, and work began. Funds were raised, and there was political support for this effort. However, other circumstances surfaced and the effort had to be abandoned. Chuck's work in the community expanded when he was tapped by noted civic activist Sarah Humphreys, who recruited him for the Onslow Clean County Committee, Christmas Cheer, and many other projects. He participated in roadside cleanups, award presentations, and was a part of Sarah's army that got things done. An infamous photo shows the judge knee-deep in thawed chicken created when the power went out at a building Christmas Cheer was using one year. He did not wear his office as protection from dirty or unwelcome work. His love of sport was supported by 36 years refereeing high school football and 20-plus years refereeing youth soccer and baseball. And of course, he was and remains an avid Carolina fan. He was selected to represent Onslow County and to carry the Olympic torch on June 22, 1996 in the Olympic torch relay. As a judge, his colleagues have praised him as a careful listener, a warm individual, and not being intimidating from the bench. It says that right there, Chuck. Okay. Yeah, I know. It doesn't say you said it. So perhaps some of the shenanigans he was involved with helped to form that demeanor. Courthouse observers remember goldfish placed in other judges' water pitchers or their desks being moved to a bathroom. A memorable trip involved a trip to the Gator Bowl to see UNC play involving the incumbent sheriff at the time, several attorneys, and community leaders. Okay, there we go. I won't finish that one. He was an inaugural member of the Jacksonville-Onslow Sports Commission when it became freestanding. He championed seeking more sporting events for girls and helped to hire the first executive director of the freestanding operation. When former Mayor George Jones asked Chuck to help get a Boys and Girls Club for the community, Chuck took that to heart and worked with a variety of people to make it happen. He gathered others who felt the same way, and together they advocated and raised funds for the project. He served as chairman of the board and took care of daily matters while working full-time. He carried the torch for the Boys and Girls Club and got the first operation going at Thompson Elementary School. I'd like to point out that the Fabric Award is being held and will be presented by Keith Williams, who is the current Onslow County executive for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Southeastern North Carolina. Today, the Boys and Girls Club continues in part thanks to the work of people like Chuck Henry, who answered the call of their community. Chuck remembers his willingness to help Sarah Humphreys by saying she had such a deep and lasting love of her community. It is for his love of his adopted community, his work to create an enduring legacy of service to others, and special assistance to young people in our community that he is worthy of being designated as part of the fabric of our community. For his enduring dedication to community, family, and profession, Charles Henry is declared to be a critical part of the fabric of our community. And the Fabric Square reads, from this day forth, the Onslow Civic Affairs Committee has designated that Charles H. Henry is forever to be known for his significant contributions to improving, strengthening, and benefiting the fabric of our community. Inducted Tuesday, April 18th, 2023.
Thank you very much for those kind words, Brent. I want to thank Keith for giving me this Boys and Girls Club backpack earlier. It allows me to carry around my prescriptions with me wherever I go. But thank you for those kind words. It's been my pleasure and honor to participate in some of these activities. First of all, I want to congratulate all the other honorees. Well done, well deserved. I promise. Tell Steve when you see him again that I was brief and then I went and sat down. I'm sure that most of you have followed the same path that I have. You saw a need in your community and decided either personally or through an established organization to help remedy that need. Through these efforts, your reward is knowing that you helped somebody. Stephanie and I are grateful to be recognized by the committee in this way. It allowed me to be considered in the same company with so many extraordinary people. For that, we are grateful. I am sure that there are many more people more deserving of this recognition than I am. It's my hope, however, that my small contribution has been a benefit to this community. I want to echo Ms. Sandra's comments. I adopt everything she said about the greatness of this community and everything that this community stands for. And I'll try to duplicate her eloquence here this morning or this afternoon. Thank you very much.
"32 panels now form our quilt. They represent 38 people. While the space they cover is small, the impact these people have made on our community is significant, broad, and deep. The Onslow Civic Affairs Committee will add panels to our quilt as time goes on and as the contributions to improving the fabric of our community continues. What is your legacy? How will you contribute to the fabric of our community? For those not now involved and who are willing to pick up the mantle, we ask you to consider joining a board or commission, volunteering, participating, or just show up. The names on our panels are part of a unique group who stood up to answer a call. They responded to the needs in our community, and they made a positive contribution. If you're not contributing, once again, we can expose you to volunteerism, to service to your community, active participation in boards and committees. We hope next year continue our partnership with the United Way in recognition of all those who come together to make this a better place. Thank you to those who are being honored, to those who came to be with them, and thank you to my fellow Civic Affairs Committee members. At this time, I'd like to turn it back over to United Way's Raquel Painter.
Thank you, Lorette. A lot of times people always ask me, why do you smile all the time? This is why I smile all the time. I get to see the goodness in our community, and it just warms my heart that people leave a legacy. So definitely leave here knowing that our community is in good hands. We got people doing great things, but also what is the legacy you want to leave behind in our community? All of us have that opportunity. We wake up every day with the same amount of time. It's what you do with that time makes the difference. So definitely, guys, thank you guys for coming. Thanks to all the volunteers, the nominees, and continue to go on and do great things. Thank you.